When Ford introduced the Mustang back in 1964, the sticker price was $2,368. You could get yourself the convertible model for just a few dollars more, $2,814. Today, a Ford Mustang would set you back $26,670, a convertible $32,170, and you can quickly spend over $73,000 for a top-of-the-line Mustang. Why does it cost so much more today than in 1964? Inflation. Inflation, simply put, is the increase in the price of the goods and services that we purchase and consume. We see it in everyday things, such as groceries, and in things that we may only buy a few times in our lives, like houses. Inflation is everywhere and can impact everything. But what causes inflation, and why should we worry about it? Inflation can be caused by a number of things. Government policy, scarcity of resources, increased demand for certain goods can all cause inflation. For example, let's say that everyone wants to buy the latest Ford Mustang. Not expecting the latest Mustang would be so popular, Ford didn't increase the number of Mustangs it built. But some people want a Mustang so badly that they are willing to pay more than others to own a Mustang. As a result, the price of Ford Mustangs begins to go up as more people are willing to pay more to own one. Suddenly, you have inflation. That's just one example, and a pretty simple one. To see how inflation can impact your retirement, consider siblings Bill and Jill. Both Bill and Jill are retired and live a comfortable lifestyle. Bill's retirement income is fixed at $50,000 a year. Meanwhile, Jill has the same $50,000 a year in retirement income, but her retirement income strategy adjusts each year for inflation. If we assume that inflation is a constant 3% a year in retirement, it doesn't take long to start seeing changes in Bill and Jill's standard of living. After just 5 years, Jill is able to purchase the same number of goods and services as before. However, Bill has already started to make adjustments. His purchasing power has decreased 14%. After 10 years, Jill is still looking good, but Bill's purchasing power has eroded by 25%. Fast forward 20 years, Jill is still living her same lifestyle, while Bill's purchasing power is down 44%. In other words, after 20 years, by not adjusting his income for inflation, Bill's $50,000 has the same purchasing power as $27,000. Meanwhile, Jill's income has increased to $90,000 in order to maintain the same purchasing power as her original $50,000. Luckily, your financial professional can discuss ways various insurance products and financial strategies can help account for inflation in your retirement income strategy.
Hi, thank you for watching the short video on inflation. What we're going to do is give you some information I think is extremely helpful. But before we do that, I just want to let you know I am Joe Zingone, the Realistic Economist. And when we talk about inflation, we talk about the good, bad, and the ugly. Unfortunately, it's mostly bad. We're also going to talk about something called senior inflation, which is the ugly part. And very simply, if you look it up online, you won't find much information about it, but I coined the term senior inflation is the things that we used to do for ourselves, obviously not paying for it, which is something we did our own, but now we need to go out and have it paid for, like maybe cutting the grass, doing basic repairs around the home, cleaning the gutters. So what happens when we look at inflation, we have not only the costs get higher on things that we had done, but now the things that we used to do before on our own, we're now paying someone else to do. What we want to try and look is you need to design or adjust your income for inflation, which makes sense, but it's not as easy as one may think. When we looked at the video, Bill uses planning that unfortunately most people use today, and it really underestimates the true cost of things. And as time goes on, things become more costly, but the income doesn't adjust. Now, Jill, on the other hand, is using new strategies that allow for a higher income flow that really withstands inflation's toll. Just in a few short years after retirement, even with our own, you can see these increased costs take hold. You know, it's really funny. The video talks about a Ford Mustang, And I just want to tell a little story. In 1975, I bought a brand new Oldsmobile Delta 88, and I believe the car was $5,500. But interestingly enough, it had the car maybe about 7-8 months, and my girlfriend at the time said she wanted to get married, and I said I really had no money. So what we had to do is she sold the car for me, and I got some cash back, and I bought her an engagement ring. Now, after 44 years or so, we're still married. So I wanted to know, I always ask her the question, would have been better off keeping the Oldsmobile or buy an engagement ring? Now, if you do proper income planning, you can alleviate falling behind inflation by providing increasing income. Now, there's some ideas out there. There's a lot of them. One of them is using a bucketing strategy, which will help you account as time goes on. There's something that I coined as well. It's called an old age Roth. There are a lot more, but it's important to really sit and spend some time looking and see which ones work best for you. Now, if you have questions or what options will work for you, what I'd like very simply is just email your questions to me at joe@realisticeconomist.us. Again, that's joe@realisticeconomist.us. And I'll do my best to get your questions answered as quick as possible. Thank you very much. Bye now.